Pricing, take one.
Hi, Phil here from Spokes Education. We've been doing a series on going from freelance to agency. I've been giving you a few tips on how to expand your business. And this last few videos have been looking at kind of opportunities and how you find them. And now we're going to talk about when you have found one, how do you price it? So one of the things that is really difficult when you start out freelancing, I think something I really struggle with is how do you price something to be competitive? You want to be competitive, you want to make sure you're making money, but you also want to make sure that you're not going in too high, you're not going in too low, and you're pitching it at the right level. There's a couple of different approaches to take. So when we speak to clients, when we have those kind of initial conversations, then I'll often say to them, there's two ways we can approach it. The first way is, you can let us know what your budget is, and we can put together a proposal based on that and give you some options based on your budget. A lot of people don't want to do that. They want to kind of, especially if they're doing competitive tendering or competitive kind of bids and they're looking to get different quotes. And they will say, look, you tell us how much it's going to cost. That is sometimes quite difficult because quite often you don't have all the information you need. There's many variables, particularly in digital learning, but in most kind of digital kind of industries. It's really difficult because there's so many different variables. There's so much time. We talk about the iron triangle a lot, which is getting there's the cost, time, and quality, and thinking about the balance between those three things. We say you can have high quality, you can have it super quick, or you can have it super cheap, but you can only have two of them. If you want it cheap and you want it quick, then it's going to sacrifice the quality. If you want it quick and you want it high quality, it's going to cost you. And if you want it, which one have I done there? If you want it high quality and cheap, then give us a bit more time and we'll fit that in when we can. So we can, so there's different kind of ways to think about it. If you want all three, it's just not going to happen. And it's about getting that kind of balance right to sort of say, okay, where is the client positioning themselves? What's the most important thing to them? More often than not, it's cost and then time. Quality seems to come last, but that's something we're trying to, work away from now and look at the ones where quality is much more important. But I think when you start out, you do kind of have to look at those kind of contracts, which are a bit more kind of squeezed on the cost and on the time. So with the pricing side of things, I said, if you've got the client telling you, here's my budget, this is what I've got to spend, then, give them options, give them options for spending that full budget, give them options for spending a little bit less, give them options for spending a little bit more if you want. Again, if you can show that extra value to sort of say, look, actually, if you spend a little bit more, you can get all this extra added value. And in terms of how you actually price, it's just simply based on your time. Now, when you're a freelancer, you talked about it before in the kind of when we looked at costs, you don't have many overheads, and therefore you don't have to charge massive amounts of money to kind of cover your own costs. It's essentially covering your salary and covering little bits and pieces of things like software and equipment, etc. As you get into agency, you've now got to cover all these other extra things. And so if you want to find out all about those things, check out our video on finances, and you'll find out about all the things that will come your way with setting up an agency. So all of a sudden you've got to charge more. It's simple maths, but the fact of the matter is the way you sell that is you're getting a much better service. Again, recalling back to setting up a team. Now we feel we can justify spending a lot more. When it was just me, you're getting me and you're getting my skills. Now, if you take us on, you're not just getting my skills, you're getting the skills of all of our team, and us combined are significantly better than me on my own, and therefore the quality of what you're going to get is higher, and therefore you're going to have to pay more. Again, the simple economics is how it works. So it's getting that balance right, and as you kind of progress and grow, you'll find that you have to put your costs up. And it's a hard thing to do, especially if you've got repeat custom and people are coming back to you, and one day you're this price and another day you're a little bit more. However, don't be afraid to do that. Again, let them know that this is the extra kind of service you're getting, so you know what, you get things quicker because we've got more people on it. You'll get things to a higher quality because now we've got a dedicated designer, or now we've got a dedicated developer, whatever that may be. You know, you can justify that, and if they don't want to pay that, then you know you've got to ask yourself, okay, well, what's the payoff? Am I willing to let this client go? You know, is it worth my while? Or is this something where, you know, it's not cost effective anymore? It's something I look at a lot. You know, is this cost effective? What we do now is we have like a calculator, and we'll basically plug in our time. So we've got a cost of, you know, an individual, and we'll kind of break it down simply into kind of by role. So we've got, you know, junior developer, senior graphic designer. We've got all the different kind of roles, and all of them have got a cost associated with them based on their approximate salary. We don't do it massively scientifically, but it's enough to kind of work on. And what we look at is, okay, how much time do we need from each one of these individuals, or each one of these, you know, skilled areas, and we'll plug that in. So, you know, again, we'll make our best guess. We'll overestimate sometimes if we don't have all the information that we need, and we'll kind of just give a bit of contingency in there, and we'll plug all that in to our calculator. These are the days we want. That will give us a cost to us. This is how much this is going to cost us. We will then look at, okay, well, we want to basically double. You know, we'll tend to sort of look at marking up at 100%. So if it's costing us £5,000, we're likely to charge a customer £10,000, and then that covers our overheads and, you know, gives us some profit as well. So I think I probably said in the video around costing that, you know, wages kind of will be about 50% of your costs. So if you can double, if everyone else can double their value, so you know, if someone costs you £30,000 a year, if they can give you £60,000 worth of work, then by the end of the year you'll be making a profit. In theory, you know, based in our kind of industry, that's kind of how we look at it. And obviously, if they can make a bit more, then even better. So we try to look at least doubling up on that. There's some things which are higher markup than others. And again, think about what those things are. Think about where you can upsell. You know, something like animation could be a good thing. If you're just doing a small bit of animation, it's not particularly profitable. If you're doing a bulk load, it can become quite profitable because, again, you can find the efficiencies. Same with everything. Same with design. Same with, you know, development. Again, if you're doing more of it, you can find those efficiencies. Customers saving money because actually, you know, you're doing things more efficiently, but actually you're saving yourself money and making more margin because you're doing things more efficiently as well. So yeah, we use that calculator, plug it all in, and then we could give a quote based on that. Again, we have kind of fixed day rates for each one of those roles. We'll apply some discounts for things like not-for-profits and things like that. Again, you know, we're always happy to do that. And, you know, and we feel that's, you know, a fair way of doing it. You know, like I said, it covers our costs. If it's too much for the client, then, you know, there might be a little bit of leeway to bring that down a bit. Again, we'll look at margins, look at what we need to do to be profitable, and think about it that way. But yeah, just have a look at, you know, what time you think it's going to take to do that. Map that out in terms of how much that's going to cost you as a business. Then look to at least double it. You know, depending on the piece of work it is. Like I said, you know, if it's a one-off thing, if it's going to be something to think, okay, this is actually going to be a bit of a pain. It's actually not going to be work. You know, we've got lots of other stuff at the moment. This is going to strain us a little bit. Feel free to mark up a little bit more if you feel like you can do. If you feel like, okay, I'm really, really kind of strapped for work, I could do with, you know, anything coming in now, you know, then you might want to be a bit more competitive and to get that business in. So we do have that little bit of flex depending on where we are as a business, depending on the client as well. You might find, again, you want to be a bit more aggressive for that client you want on your portfolio, or that client where it might lead to more work. And again, if you do have that, think about how you price it. Again, think about, you know, doing it as a discount for, you know, a first project discount. And that way you won't kind of be committing yourself to that kind of cost going forward. That's really, really important. If you kind of get a client and, you know, you get locked into a price and it's like, you know, I'm going to charge you £300 a day rate. And then it's like, you know, well, here's loads more work. It's like, okay, well, now this is not quite enough for me to be worth my while. If you've gone in and said, look, you know, we're normally £350 a day, but we're going to knock it down to £300 a day for this first project because we're really keen to work with you, then, you know, if they're happy to work with you, then again, that kind of expectation's been set early on. So that's something we do quite a lot as well, is just, you know, put that discount in initially and say, look, you know, this is a discount we're going to give you for the first one. Let us prove our worth, then we know you're going to be happy to pay a little bit more next time. And everyone's a winner. So yeah, again, as always, happy to share more if anyone wants more information. So I'm happy to share our calculator and to show how that works. It's literally just a matter of, costs to us, costs that we're going to charge the client. And then we've got a little percentage that shows us, our markup. And again, we say, if it's a 50% markup or more, it's probably worth our while. If it's 100% markup or more, then it's definitely worth our while. If it's under 50% markup, then, we'll think about the benefits to that. And obviously if it's 25% markup, it's probably not worth it. You've always got to factor in contingencies, always got to factor in extra time. Sometimes things don't take as long as you expect. Majority of the time they'll take a bit longer than you expect. So you've always got to factor that bit contingency in as well. And like I said, as long as the customer's happy and the client's sort of got what they're happy with, the price they've given, the money they've given you, then don't feel bad about upping your prices and charging a little bit more. It's a really difficult thing to do, to start upping prices and to ask for. It's really difficult just to ask for money and to give a quote. Sometimes you feel you have that kind of like but they want to do it, that they're willing to pay that money. And if they're not, they'll just say, no, thank you. And you don't need to feel guilty or bad about it. It's something I struggled with at first, and now, it's nothing, it's no big deal now. It's just something you kind of get used to and say, this is how much it's going to cost. And over time you'll understand the importance of, pricing things accordingly and making sure things are at the level that you're happy with and the level that you need to get in order to run your business successfully. So if you have any other questions, feel free to get in touch. If you're interested in any more of our videos, then we've got plenty more that's kind of already out there. Like I said, refer back to some of these in this video. We'll no doubt do some more videos, so like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll get notified of any new ones that come out. But until then, thanks again for listening, and speak to you next time.